What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the video. In today's long reaction, we are actually going back to something that I should have reacted to a long time ago. A lot of you were telling me to do this, but I don't know why. I just kind of put it off and I didn't really think twice about it because I didn't realize how egregious this tier list of zombies maps was going to be. But we are reacting to Chaos's tier list, or whatever, his zombie ranking top 50 maps. A long video, so try to stick around to the end if you can. If not, I totally get it. The first half is definitely more egregious than the second, but it is a wild ride, so I definitely recommend sticking around. And I just want to say, I go pretty hard in the paint on him, but I don't think he's like a bad guy or he's a dummy or anything. I'm just playing it up because it's what you do. You got to react, man. You want to have a good time with it. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the content. Thanks so much. See you around.
Start off with number 50, Dur and Fang. Dur and Fang of Vanguard, okay? Yeah, coming in at dead last, the launch map from COD Vanguard. I'm sorry.
Fair.
I mean, it's not going to come as a shocker to any of you because Vanguard Zombies has not exactly been received very well for how different it is. And just about everything else in Zombies history. I watched Noah's launch stream on it. It was rough. Not only is this one different, it's kind of bad. Very basic, very repetitive, no replay value, and the difficulty spike was way too strong. Did I mention you couldn't even pause it when it first came out? I mean, is that...
You still can't pause it. It's not even that. It's basic. It's actually not basic. They just made it suck. They made it suck just entirely in every way, shape, or form. They literally like stripped away features that were already considered quote unquote basic and just took them out. Straight up took them out. So it's like, it's not even fair to say that it's fucking basic.
Fixed yet? I don't know. It's been getting a ton of heat since Vanguard came out, and all justified. I think it's a bad map. At number 49, Newtown Zombies Black Ops 2.
What?
Now, when it was announced that Newtown was being turned into a zombies map,
no way.
Well, the problem is, in the question itself, what went wrong? Newtown just wasn't designed for zombies. It's a multiplayer map through and through, and it didn't work. Small, way too random.
What? How is he? Dude, Newtown Zombies is not a bad zombies map. In the sense of it like being an iconic zombies map, it has surpassed that level through and through. It's, in fact, a good zombies map. It is challenging, it is tight quarters, it's fun. The random perks falling from the sky makes it super challenging. Oh my God.
Repetitive, and the whole experience felt weird. It didn't feel like zombies. It felt like somebody modded Newtown with some zombie CPUs, and it didn't flow very well. I mean, putting zombies on a...
With all of the other maps inside of the game, it actually worked as a nice little survival series. Having the three maps like taken apart with Transit, having Newtown, Mob of the Dead, Origins, Buried, Die Rise, plus Nuketown, that's a shit ton of maps. So it gave us a lot of diversity. And at the time, we didn't really know we wanted all this quest shit. So no, that's just dead wrong.
Newtown Zombies, I think it was probably one of the bigger disappointments in COD history. At number 48.
What? Disappointments in COD history? Oh my God.
Green Run, Black Ops 2. The infamous Transit map. There's a million reasons why people hated it.
That's fine.
Overcomplicated, art style wasn't everybody's favorite. Wonder weapons were underwhelming. Whole bus system made the flow really weird and hard to get into. The individual maps of Green Run are pretty fun on their own. But the map as a whole, it's one of the most hated in the entire community. I've got to take that into account for this list. I do. Transit is still hated by the zombies community to this day. Green Run.
Yes, but now people like it. Now people like it for its charm. So still wrong, but more right.
Well, it's going to take the fall for that. At number 47, Die Rise Black Ops 2.
I don't really know much about Die Rise, so.
But at number 46, The Darkest Shore, COD World War II. Hopefully people agree with me. So,
okay, I agree that this is a bad map, but this map is not worse than fucking The Tortured Path. The Tortured Path was absolutely trash.
Worst Sledgehammer maps we've ever gotten for zombies. It just didn't have content. Very basic map, not a whole lot going on. Now,
dude, it had an amazing boss fight and Easter egg quest. It was just an ugly, shitty map, but the quest was not bad. Using the saw to like ping pong around the whole thing. It was actually a pretty good quest. I remember kind of enjoying it, but the boss fight was so unbalanced, so hard because they did a rush horde mode. I don't know, man.
Number 45.
So,
Infection in Advanced Warfare. Exo Zombies wasn't received well by everybody.
I always forget about Advanced Warfare, but how are you gonna say anything from BO2 is worse than Advanced Warfare? It's all bad in Advanced Warfare.
People loved it, but of all the maps, I think this is the one people hated most.
That's true.
Second map chronologically had some fun Easter eggs like the stuff with Burger Town, but the map itself.
So he's literally going to say that Infection is worse than Newtown, Transit. Like, I agree, it's bad. But here's the question. Do the zombies maps that are made by Treyarch, do they hold a higher tier in our hearts? So if they're hated, are they hated more? If a Treyarch map fails because they're held to a higher standard, does that mean that they go higher on the list of hate? Should those maps be held to a higher standard so they should be hated more? And then this one just kind of sucks, so we just throw it in? I wonder, because when you have such a high caliber studio making these great maps and then they flop, it actually kind of means more when you hate them.
But of all the maps, I think this is the one people hated most.
Yeah.
Second map,
and nobody played this.
Had some fun Easter eggs.
That's a very good point, because how many people sat there and played BO2 anyway, even though they fucking hated the maps? Just like Black Ops 4, just like Cold War, just like Vanguard.
With Burger Town,
but nobody played this shit.
The Tortured Path.
There we go.
World War II. COD World War II. Now, COD World War
this
II
should be number 50.
Zombie mode. I don't think all the criticism was fair. I will agree, though, the Tortured Path was pretty bad. Unlike the other maps in the game, it had you completely random or completing random objectives every few waves, and it not only destroyed the flow of the game, but it also added way too much randomness and punishment to the mix. The challenges were randomized, so you could never be prepared for the right one, and if you failed a challenge, you failed the mission altogether, which was kind of stupid.
Which, by the way, it should be like all AW maps, this map, then Duran Fang, and then whatever else. The fact that Treyarch still made Duran Fang after they saw how much we hated the Torture Path is kind of a slap in the face, especially after how well Outbreak was received.
At number 43, I don't even know how to say this, Zetsubo Noshima.
I'm done. I'm done. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Zetsubo Noshima number...
I don't know. Black Ops 3. Unacceptable when it launched. There. We'll call it the Z map. There's so many bugs with this map, and a lot of them have been fixed, but there's still plenty of others sitting out there waiting to be stumbled upon, I'm sure. The map, when it's working as intended, it's okay, but more often than not, you see technical issues here that can get super frustrating. Now, it's hard to judge.
Name them if they're so bad. I remember that there were bugs at launch. They were rebuilding the engine for Black Ops 4. Name them if they were so bad. The only glitch that I can think of off the top of my head is that the spiders fall from the fucking ceiling. This did have a lot of bugs at launch. I do remember that, but play it now, it's fine. It's fine.
But here we are in 2021. Welcome. At number 42, Shino Numa, World at War. Now, it may be sacrilegious to put one of the OG maps so low on the list, but I have to, and I have to cut Treyarch some slack also, because this was the first time they ever made something like this. But Shino Numa was hilariously easy, which is why the solo world record is currently at 10,000 rounds. I'm serious.
Yeah, that didn't get figured out for a long fucking time. You judge Zetsubo on its launch merit. You don't judge this map on its launch merit. That's bullshit. You have an inconsistent standard, my friend. Also, Shino Numa is one of my favorites, so I'm going to be biased towards it. But I will say that anything from World at War is going to be lower. So I'm okay with that when there's like 30 more maps to go. But this isn't a bad placement, but just the way he's talking about it. Verrucht is one of my favorite maps as well. So I can't really say that that's a bad map either. Sorry, I can't say that it's worse than Shino Numa, but it's like, my dude is just fucking ruining shit over here. He doesn't like randomized perks. All the maps and shit that he picks, like there's a lot of random and objectives. Like he doesn't like any of that stuff. He wants his map to just like be, you turn it on and then you just play. And that's probably why he likes, I bet you he puts Cold War stuff at the top.
A little more challenge to it. That's why it's so low on the list.
What is the like to dislike ratio here? Oh my God, holy crap. Remember, I'm an outside casual fan ranking these, so be gentle. You need to say not including EEs or else people will tear you to shreds. Zombies fans about to go crazy. We'll read more of these comments at the end. That's good.
41. Verrucht, World at War.
You don't even know how to.
Similar situation to Shino Numa. Now, this one was a lot of fun back in the day, but it hasn't aged super well and it doesn't really hold up to what zombies could eventually become. Some of the World at War and Black Ops 1 maps hold up.
Again, that's fine from the lens of World at War.
On the simple side. This one had annoying elements that could get on your nerves and was likely the product of Treyarch essentially making things up as they were going because they were still developing the mode. I never expected zombies to be so popular. It's fun. I mean, in the nostalgia factor, it's first choice of a map when they're going to replay with their friends.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of discovering.
For being the one where you play as freaking JFK and Fidel Castro while fighting zombies in the Pentagon. That's awesome.
I know, right?
I mean, how could you not love it? The theming of the map was genius, and the attention to detail is amazing, but a lot of the community will agree that the gameplay leaves a little bit to be desired.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like 5.
Basic, straightforward, which is fun for some people, but most zombies players want something more. I mean, it's definitely fun to mess around with and a great map for casual players, but if you're looking for that true core...
Great map for casual play. Bro, this map is hard as shit. That's really weird. I mean, I agree with most of his take on this, but casuals hate this map. This is like a hardcore fan map. All of the hardcore fans that love zombies love 5. People that love this old school hardcore zombie stuff, they all love 5. Without a doubt. It's so hard. I hate it.
At number 39. Revelations in Black Ops.
Oh my God.
Final map of Black Ops 3. Could have been a lot better. Story-wise, pretty important map for the zombies community, but in terms of gameplay, I don't know. I don't think it was anybody's favorite. A lot of things wrong here. Not a whole lot right. The map was designed to be the big finale for Black Ops 3, so Treyarch threw a whole lot of stuff at the wall, and that did provide for some exciting times, but it also felt overcomplicated. And a lot of zombies players really just went through it so they could see how the story ended. It's not nearly as bad.
What? What? A lot of zombies fans just went through it to see how the story ended. What happened to the whole, oh, we don't do Easter eggs because they're too complicated, but everybody just did it because they wanted to see how it ended, but nobody likes Easter eggs, but they did the Easter egg. These were the most complicated Easter eggs, but nobody likes Easter eggs, but they love the story, but nobody pays attention to the story. Dude, the casual zombies fan is a fucking nut job. That's what I'm starting to figure out. If you're a casual zombies fan, you're an insane person who doesn't know shit about the zombie storyline. Or the zombies needs. That's what I'm learning from. If he is representing the mind of a casual zombies fan, then nothing makes sense anymore. That's why our games suck, because Treyarch's trying to cater to a person that doesn't exist.
Bad as some other maps. I think I may be a little too hard on it for the sake of this list, but here it is. I think it could have been better. At number 38, Buried, Black Ops 2. Decent map.
See, when you like put the whole scope of maps, like 50 maps, there's probably more than 50, right? There's probably like 70. When you look at all of the maps in the grand scheme of things, right? Putting Buried at number 30 something isn't a bad spot for it. When you start to get to the middle, that's like that's the tipping point, right? So there's going to be some maps depending on subjectivity, you know.
Community often criticizes is how easy it was. Now, in the grand scheme of things, it was really easy. You were doing challenges for it. Get the highest rounds out of all your friends, which kind of kills the appeal, right? Buried had a decent layout, some cool story elements, but the gameplay was too easy, and that kind of made it boring to play on.
Bro, I think Buried's hard.
I mentioned so far, but it wasn't a huge standout for most players. I think this is a fair spot.
I don't disagree with that statement. I don't think his Buried isn't a bad spot. I probably would have moved it higher up, but like I don't have a ton of experience with it, so I think that's fair.
Number 37, Call of the Dead, Black Ops 1. Now, Call of the Dead was pretty awesome because it featured George A.
I bet you this pissed off everybody.
If you don't know who that is, you owe him an apology because he's the guy that made Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead. He's pretty much the guy who created zombies as we know them in movies and video games today.
Wow.
The fact that he got to play such a major part in the COD Zombies map was awesome, but it's kind of a bummer that most people don't think too highly of the map. Call of the Dead looked awesome, filled with Easter eggs.
What?
It's more of a fun scavenger.
People don't think highly of the map? People fucking love this map. Every time I talk about how I don't like it very much, people tell me I'm an idiot and that I should go kill myself. So that's insane. This map is super loved. It's beloved as shit. Everybody loves the celebrity cast. Everybody loves the Easter eggs. Everybody loves George Romero. Everybody loves the scavenger. Everybody loves the fucking thing that turns people into CIA agents, whatever the hell that's called. Everybody loves this map. The fact that it can't get to around 100, like you can't get to round 100 on it, it makes it beloved because it's just such a unique part of zombies history. Oh my God.
It was just okay. At number 36, Voyage of Despair, Black Ops.
I don't like that this is this low, but I can accept that this is here with all the other good maps that there are.
Now, it had some awesome art
but
design. The story was
tagged, shouldn't Tagged or Totem theoretically be the next map?
really interesting too, but the map little hit or miss. Now, I love the setting, I love the characters, but how much you enjoy a map really comes down to how much you enjoyed Black Ops 4. If you didn't like Black Ops 4 Zombies, you're probably going to hate this map. If you did like it, you probably thought it was okay. It embraced Black Ops 4's mechanics, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it did turn some players off, so I'm taking that into account, and I think number 36 is a fair spot.
Bro, you don't know what to take into account and what to not take into account. Your parameters are all over the place. You think you're getting a good read on the community, but then you're talking about like people not liking Call of the Dead? What are you talking about, man?
At number 35.
Oh my God.
Divisive map to say the least because of the craziness of the enemies and sometimes obnoxious ways you can kill yourself. Once Shadows is up and running, it's a decent map, but it took a little work to get there.
Decent, it's just decent, guys.
May I have your attention, please? Shadows is just decent.
Every Zombies map requires a little bit of setup time before you really get into the groove of things, and Shadows of Evil took a long time to just get going for my taste.
No, it doesn't.
Solid map. Just about everything on the list going forward is going to be good, but it had some decent flaws, and I think it belongs somewhere around here. At number 34, Moon and Black Ops 1. I know I'm going to catch heat for this one, but yeah,
I mean,
pretty divisive. When you ask the COD community how they feel about it.
I don't like Moon, but I accept that it's popular. Like, I accept that, you know? I do. I don't like it, but it's fine. But I don't think I would have ranked it this low. I really have to think about it, though. I might put it in this area, but if you're including Chronicles, I would put Chronicles higher.
About it, half of them are going to respond that it's an iconic
Yeah, I mean,
map with some awesome mechanics. The other half is going to say, well, it's an annoying map, but I can see where people are coming from.
I think it's
they don't
annoying.
like it. Some of the mechanics and enemy types are annoying to deal with, but I can't rank it too low because I think the map is cool. The setting was awesome, and there's some. Really
Then rank it how you like it. Who gives a shit what the community thinks?
At number 33, Forsaken in Black Ops Cold War. Released with the Season 6 of Cold War, it was...
The fact that he put Forsaken apparently under Firebase Z and he put it above Shadows and Voyage? Are you kidding me? Both Voyage and Shadows are top 20 maps.
Secret facility blended in with the rest of the Zombies maps. Cold War Zombies started out strong. Forsaken.
Cold War Zombies started off strong? What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
I mean, it just kind of felt basic in comparison. Everything it did, we've seen before in previous maps, so that was a little downer. But I don't think it's anybody's go-to map in Cold War. I mean, you can...
I just streamed it for 4 hours. What do you mean?
Correct me in the comments if you disagree, but I don't really see anything special about it. It functioned well. It just wasn't special. At number 32.
Guys, it functioned well. Guys. Hey, guys, it functioned well. What does that even mean? My bowels function well. When I take a shit, that functions well. My digestive tract functions.
No clue how to
Not
say
a
this
map.
Well,
then you're an idiot. It's Groston House. It's not that fucking hard.
World War II, the G map. Mainly known as a multiplayer map in the game because a little ways into COD's World War II cycle, Sledgehammer released it as a free bonus map for multiplayer.
Yeah, it was great.
It was cool.
It was dope.
Played well in 6v6 multiplayer, but in Zombies, kind of middle of the road. There wasn't
What? Middle of the road? It was super fun. There was a literal Easter egg boss fight on there where you would get to round 50 and there was a Brenner that would pop out. Nobody could do it. Only like 10 people figured out how to beat it. And they did it on solo. And it got you a free fucking challenge person card guy. God, I can't even think. I'm so pissed.
It was pretty simple, and I don't really know what else to say about it. You can see the appeal of it, I guess, but I personally think
You can see the appeal of it, I guess. You can just see the appeal of it. It's just kind of cool. It's just, it's cool. It's better than Voyage of Despair and Shadows.
better as a multiplayer map than a Zombies map. At number 31, Dead of the Night, Black Ops 4.
What the
Raise your
fuck?
hand, or, no, wait. Am I the only one who got major Clue vibes from this map? Raise your hand. Yes? No? Anyway, featured a new cast with a handful of new weapons, enemy types to shake it up. Also took place in the year 1912, so you had some fun visuals to work with. I thought Dead of the Night was pretty fun. It wasn't as good as some of the other Black Ops 4 maps, but
Setting up on a Zombies map is something that you don't like to have a long time to do. So you put Shadows at number like fucking 59 or whatever, but Dead of the Night has 10 times more setup than Shadows, almost more than Origins, about as much as Zetsubo, yet you've ranked this smack dab in the middle.
compromise here. It was fun compared to the rest of the maps in the game, but it could have been better. Black Ops 4...
It could have been better, guys. Hey, guys.
Can I have your attention, please? It could have been better. It could have been better.
Really good zombies map. So Dead of the Night, maybe a tad better to stand up to them? I don't know. At number 30. Shangri-La.
Oh my God.
Black Ops 1. Also known as Paradise. Released with the Annihilation DLC for the original Black Ops. Takes place in the Himalayan mountains, which was cool. It also introduced a lot of things to the gameplay formula. Traps, specialty zombies. The Wonder Weapon was pretty awesome. And
it introduced traps? Were traps never introduced before? Verrückt literally had traps in it. There was like electricity that you could turn on with a switch and you could light the zombies up. Doris had those. Shino had it, I'm pretty sure. 5 probably had traps.
you would need it at certain points because there was choke points where you could get yourself cornered and killed rather quickly. Shangri-La introduced a lot of great things to the zombies formula, but it never, I don't think it was the go-to map for the community. I don't know. It's a good map for sure.
I think part of his problem is like he's stuck in the initial premise of how the community feels versus how they feel over time, which I can understand that, but it still feels like he's conflating. Feels like he's conflating like 4 different perspectives at the same time. The wannabe hardcore fan, the hardcore fan, the casual fan, and then the fan that just has like never played zombies before. It feels like he's all 4 of those somehow. But what's interesting is Shangri-La, I don't think a lot of people like Shangri-La. I really do. But it's one of those maps that's kind of aged well. Same with Verrückt. Verrückt and Shang have aged really, really, really well.
But I think compared to everything else, it belongs right here. Remember, there's a lot of maps, and this is a pretty good placement. At number 29, Outbreak in Advanced Warfare.
Oh.
The first Exo Zombies map. Now, Outbreak took elements of the multiplayer map Biolab and expanded them to make an interesting experience that turned a lot of people off to the mode as well, but a lot more people on than people realize. I think people wrote the map off because they weren't.
This is fucking insane.
Zombies as a whole, but if you're willing to go with it, it's pretty cool. Now, I wasn't big on Exo Zombies, but I'm being fair. It plays well for what it's trying to be. While that may not be your cup of tea, it was still a decent map. Those who liked Exo Zombies, probably they're with me on this one.
It wasn't a bad map, but you're saying
From Beyond and Infinite Warfare. IW had surprisingly.
Beast from Beyond and Outbreak and God knows what else I can't even remember are better than Shadows and Voyage.
Really
and Dead of the Night.
This was probably the weakest. Granted, still at a pretty repaired.
The map was dog shit.
On the weak side, dropped it down a few pegs. At number 27, Carrier in Advanced Warfare.
What?
Released as part of the Supremacy DLC.
What?
Had a lot of new content for Exo Zombies. Pretty decent map. Layout was similar to Verrückt from World at War in the sense you were divided into 2 areas. Meaning
hey guys, Carrier and Verrückt are similar. Hey guys, Verrückt, Carrier from Exo, they're similar maps because you're on different sides, so they're the same. Dead of the Night's not like that though. Did you know that Dead of the Night doesn't have that like that either? Ah!
Couldn't always rely on your teammates to bail you out, and I think that added an extra tension and flavor to the experience. Pretty fun map. One of the better Exo Zombies maps, if you ask me. I think so. Number 26. The Giant in Black Ops 3.
See, this is a map that I would expect to be further down the list, like in the 30s, because this is a map that is good, it's solid, has great gameplay, fun wonder weapons, all that shit. It's a beautiful remake, the snow, the storyline, the cutscenes, it's all great. But it's not top tier because, you know, there's just better maps. This is like a 32 or 34.
Of Doris, which I haven't actually gotten to yet because, spoiler alert, it's ranked really high. So how does the Giant compare to the Classic? It's a mixed bag. Now, the changes to art style and the updated weapon selection were fun. Wasn't nearly as good as the original, with that being...
What the fuck is this guy talking about, dude? What is he talking about?
He said the original already had an amazing layout and super addicting formula, right? Giant was just a weird experience because it was good, but it didn't do anything better than the original. Instead, it was either the same or worse aside from the graphics, of course. The Giant was a little bit of a disappointment to the Zombies movie, but a really, really good map.
The reason the Giant was so good is because the movement mechanics and the gunplay inside of Black Ops 3 was just top tier. And I can't for a second get behind that. I just can't.
Every single Zombies map in COD history. We got through part 1, there's 50 Zombies map, and now we're going to do the top 25. And I said it in the first video, and I want to say it again. This is from a casual zombie fan on the outside looking in. This is not from a true hardcore ranking zombie super fan or anything like that. So keep that in mind. This is my personal list, and I'm most of you were pretty constructive. I see a couple in the first episode that may have raised a few eyebrows, but that's what it's all, I mean, that's the fun of it. So we are now going to...
I am having a good time. Yeah, that's the whole point. That's what I'm saying, Thriller. His whole list is based off of nothing. He'll base one map off of its structure, one map off of the Easter egg, one map off of the layout, one map off of the setup, one map off of the character. It's like, pick a fucking standard.
Zombie maps in COD history all the way throughout. So make sure you guys drop a like. Let me know if you agree or disagree in a constructive way. And at number 25, Alpha Omega.
See, I can accept this. This map didn't land with everybody. I get this position. I would rank it higher, but at least it's on the good side.
Black Ops 4, the 7th Black Ops 4 map. Now, it seems to either be completely forgotten by the zombies community or completely adored, which is kind of weird. Those who remember it seem to love it, but there's also a big portion of the community that forgot it even exists. I mean, it takes place on an expanded version of Newtown, but thankfully, it's way better than Newtown zombies from Black Ops 2.
I would agree with that.
The Lightning Hounds, the Jolting Jacks, and the Nova 6 Bombers. Layout, solid. There were some hidden details. The gameplay was pretty good. Overall, I don't think it was amazing, but it was definitely worthy of a shout out because more people should remember it. It's a solid map. And also, worthy of a shout out, guys. Story was a little...
What the shit? I will not stand for this abuse.
A little bit lacking, but a lot of people think the Frozen Dawn is the best map in COD World War II's entire...
No one thinks that. Not one person thinks that. You know why? Because that's a fucking lie. You know what they think? They think that the Final Reich or the Shadowed Throne, they think those are the best maps in World War II. Perhaps Groston House is in that list too. I would say that people would rank the top best World War II maps from Final Reich to Shadowed Throne to Groston House to probably Frozen Dawn to the Darkest Shore, then the Tortured Path. Whatever you just said is a lie. It doesn't exist. Never happened. We made it up. Our writers wrote that. It never happened. It's fiction.
Fire Zombies mode, and I get it. The Wonder Weapon was pretty cool. The
I don't
map
even...
itself was laid out well.
First of all, did you hear what he just said about the Wonder Weapon?
The Wonder Weapon was pretty cool.
The Wonder Weapon was pretty cool. Do you guys remember what the Wonder Weapon was on this map? Seriously, I'm asking if you guys remember, because I do. Do you remember what it was? I'll tell you. There were 4 of them. There were 4 Wonder Weapons. There was a grenade, there was a shield, there was a scythe, and there was a hammer. So the fact that he just said there was the Wonder Weapon was cool shows you that he didn't even know that there were multiple. There were 4 of them, and they all had upgrades. So you could argue that there was 8 if you want to do it like that. How in Horizon Drac there's kind of 5 Wonder Weapons because you have the standard bow and the 4 upgrades. And then you could even say in frickin' Ancient Evil there's like 16 because you have the standard gauntlets, the upgraded, then the double upgraded. So it's like I'm being like nitpicky with that, but to judge this map and then say something like that and just completely get it wrong is just kind of that actually bothered me. The other stuff I'm like yelling about for comedic effect, but that actually kind of bugged me.
Plus, it's absolutely beautiful to look at. COD World War II doesn't get enough credit for the graphics art design. I really don't think so. I think the Frozen Dawn...
It's because it looked like it was made out of clay and dirt.
Huge step up most over all the other World War II maps. Easily one of the best Sledgehammer maps ever put to a zombies experience, if you ask me.
Well, you're wrong.
Number 23, Blood of the Dead.
Hey!
The reimagining of Mob of the Dead. Definite step backwards from that fan favorite, but it was a fun experience. Blood of the Dead was the 3rd map in Black Ops 4, and it brought back the old Black Ops 2 crew for you to play as. Like I said, the layout was a bit of a reimagining of the original, but the story was a sequel to the Black Ops 2 classic, which made it a hard-hitting dose of nostalgia.
It wasn't a sequel to Mob of the Dead. It was the next map after Zetsubo in between Revelations. Holy shit.
Wasn't quite as good as the
original. I love Blood of the Dead.
It still had a lot of what made the first one so good, which made it fun in its own right. For new zombie players, it was a great introduction to classic Treyarch zombies, honestly. And for older players, like I said, it was a nice little nostalgic callback. At number 22, Garage Krovi, Black Ops 3.
Okay.
Now, the Easter egg was criticized here due to how tedious it could get, but the map itself, ton of fun. Lots of great fan service. It was a crazy map. I mean, we had dragons, we had castles, all kinds of stuff. The return of the PPSH-41, even mounted MG-42s, which was kind of cool. It was a nice change of pace for Black Ops 3. People were worried about this map. They were worried it was going to be a little too crazy when we first saw the trailers, but I think it ended up being a pretty popular map. At number 21, Classified.
Okay, I will let that slide because I don't think Gorod is a top 10 anymore. I feel like Gorod is really great, but the more I've thought about it and played like Black Ops 4 and learning from Duran Fang and Cold War, Gorod has literally only one thing I like about it. Gorod literally just has a boss fight. That's literally what I like about it. And I love boss fights, and that boss fight's so good that it redeemed the whole terrible Easter egg. The setup in that map is pretty boring. The Easter egg isn't great. I don't really like the map. There's not a lot of areas you can go to train or anything like that. It's very limiting and claustrophobic. There are a lot of good features with it, like the time trials and stuff, but overall, I don't think Gorod is a top 10 because that boss fight just pulls it so high up my list, and I don't think that's a fair metric to rate everything. But 22 is pretty low, and this is even pretty low compared to Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare and whatever the hell else is going to be above this. Classified is one of the best remakes, remasters, whatever you want to call it, of all time.
In Black Ops 4, a reimagining of the map 5, which I may have angered some people off in the other video where I ranked it.
No, Classified's better.
I think it was a genius concept, but the map itself, to me, was just okay. But Classified takes the original layout, adjusts it a little bit, expands upon it in a lot of regards, and I think it did it in a better way. Yes, at number 20, Challenge Shuffle Infinite Warfare. Very fast-paced, very intense.
Holy crap.
Fun. Practically any zombies player could get into this map.
I do like this map.
On the simple side, but just about everything on the map was pretty fun.
Above these other maps, I don't know if that's true.
Thanks to all the different
I do like this map a lot, though.
Out there. I think Shuffle was an underrated map.
It was.
I think it's more than worthy of being listed this high. I mean, if you haven't tried it, give it a shot.
Yeah, but compared to some of the other shit you've pulled.
Final Reich, COD World War II.
Okay.
I was one of the many people disappointed at how reliant this map was on jump scares instead of actual creepiness. But
that's true.
With that being said, I think it was still a good map. I think it got a little too much heat when it first came out. It had some really good mechanics.
People like this map a lot.
Like a bit of a left turn for Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare at that time, but it did have a lot going for it.
Dude, people loved the Final Reich when it first came out. They were pissed because people solved the Easter egg before it was launched.
At number 18,
yeah,
Tower der Toten in Black Ops Cold War.
Okay.
Very cool setting. The Berlin Wall. Really cool to see this landmark reimagined as the victim of a zombie outbreak in the map. It played good. Featured a lot of the best elements of Cold War zombies while also incorporating some old school elements like the art design and the level design. Now, there was also a lot of great Easter eggs here with a couple referencing World at War and the Voyage of Despair, which I can appreciate. Toten was a good map, if not a tad forgettable.
What? What Easter egg was a reference to Voyage of Despair?
Now, there was also a lot of great Easter eggs here with a couple referencing World at War and the Voyage of Despair.
What Easter eggs represented World at War and the Voyage of Despair? What? I'm serious. Like, I don't know. Is that a thing? Did that exist? Did that happen? What? It's fiction. Our writers wrote that. We made it up. It never happened. We fooled you. It was a trick. Our writers did that. I literally don't know what he's talking about. If that's true, okay, I'd like to know, but Voyage would have no connection to this story whatsoever, so that doesn't make any sense to me. World at War? Okay, maybe? But what? What was it? I genuinely have no idea.
Which I can appreciate. Toten was a good map. If not a tad forgettable compared to some of the other Cold War maps that we'll talk about later, but a good map. At number 17. Descent in Advanced Warfare. You may be shocked to see an Exo Zombies rank so high, but I thought it was really good, and the AW community almost unanimously considered it to be the best of the bunch.
I mean, Jesus Christ. The fact that you're saying any AW map is better than Mauer. What else is on this list? Shaolin Shuffle, Newtown, or Classified, fucking any... Gorod, like, what are you talking about, bro?
Not only did this map introduce us to the blunderbuss, but it also took place in an underwater facility, which was a really cool choice for a zombies map, if you ask me.
No, this was a good map for AW. I'm not even going to pretend that it wasn't, but acting like this is better than Gorod Grovey is actually insanity.
Through the facility, hunting for Oz, which was the main villain of the Exo Zombie storyline. I thought he did really good. A lot of people didn't like how Exo Zombies played so differently from traditional zombies, but Descent felt like it was a best of the both worlds. It really did. I thought it was a good map. At number 16, Zombies
in Spaceland should be number 50. I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now.
In Spaceland, Infinite Warfare. This map shouldn't have been as good as it was. It launched with IW, and people were initially critical of the colorful, goofy vibe, and the map itself, it was great. I'd say 9 out of 10. It was fun. It was addicting. It was rewarding. It was super replayable. If there's anything you could want from a zombies map, it was there. I know some people didn't like Infinite Warfare.
No, he is ranking them by his opinion, but his opinion isn't consistent, which is fine. He's allowed to do whatever he wants, but his opinion isn't consistent. So it's like his ranking from each map is solely based on like the individual factors of the map. He's not like comparing them to each other. He's like comparing it to itself based on his own metric of fun, which I mean, he can do whatever standard he wants. That's what's fun about these videos. I just like screaming and yelling about it.
Changing art style, but a lot of people didn't give this game a chance at all. And Zombies in Spaceland, it was fun.
Bro,
it was fun.
A lot of people played this game. I mean, people were still high off of Black Ops 3, and this was almost like bonus content on top of Chronicles and the great season we had. A lot of people played this game. I don't think it was as under-received as people thought it was. I mean, yeah, it didn't get a year 2, but they made Modern Warfare 2019 and reinvented the whole franchise and ruined COD forever. So it's like, you know, how are you going to come back from that?
At number 15, Die Machine, Black Ops Cold War. Massive change to the zombies formula. Surprisingly, it worked. The game was a bit more grindy, but still objective driven, which worked. You had more control over your weapons. You had more control how you could progress them, but it did feel like a Treyarch Zombies map with all the different routes and the enemy types that you could go blast through. That's all I really have to say about it. I thought it was a pretty solid map. And speaking of Cold War, at number 14, Firebase Z.
Like, what are you even saying right now? What are you even just doing with your life? What are you thinking? How do you wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and go, I'm fine with who I am today? How do you do that? This is the most disrespectful, disingenuous, hateful, bigoted, dare I say hate speech that you have ever inflicted on the zombies community. You should be ashamed. You should be shunned. You should never be allowed to pick up a controller ever again.
Black Ops Cold War. It caused a lot of conversation when it was building up to launch last year. While Black Ops Cold War wasn't received super well for the multiplayer community, Zombies was eating pretty well. Firebase Z had a lot of great elements. Really tough to decide if it belonged above or below Die Machine, but here it is. Good mechanics, assault and defense rounds, made it where you're going for high rounds. It was satisfying. Personally, I was excited to see what Treyarch does in their next game because Cold War had some good ideas. They had less than a year to slap this thing together.
That's true. Finally, a bit of truth I can get behind.
What they could do if they had a full development cycle. At number 13.
Well, you could, oh my God. You could blame Sledgehammer for that because they're the ones that fuck everything up constantly. And you can blame Infinity Ward for revitalizing the franchise.
Tagder Toten.
I hate everything about you. I never want to meet you in person. If my channel ever grows and we go to a YouTube event and you're there, I will ask the owner of the event, the person who put the event together, to push me to the outskirts of the event so I don't even have to be in the proximity of your existence.
Some people call this one of the best Treyarch maps ever made.
No one's ever said that. Not one person. No one has ever said Tagder Toten is one of the best Treyarch maps ever made. I have never met a person that has uttered those words. Not in the zombies community, not at the park, not at the mall, not at the restaurant. I've never asked my mom her opinions and she said Tagder Toten was the best zombies map ever made. No one has ever asked that, ever.
I'll leave that up to you guys. Final Zombies map, Black Ops 4. A lot of people missed it, but if you managed to play it, you probably had fun. Launched in September of 2019.
No one had fun. This map sucks. Still sucks.
Alley to the storyline, as well as a reimagining of the Call of the Dead map from Black Ops 1. Personally, I think Tag was an all-around improvement over the original map.
It was.
Even if it didn't have George A. Romero making an appearance. Weapon's amazing.
Well, because that would have been disrespectful.
Shake it up. I think it was a good conclusion to the storyline and a great way to wrap up Black Ops 4 Zombie. At number 12, Raven the Redwoods IW.
What am I watching?
Slow, but incredibly fun once you got it up and running. Compared to the other Infinite Warfare maps, I think Rave seemed to be designed for longer sessions and higher rounds, but it worked really well in its favor because it rewarded you for sticking with it. The wonder weapons were amazing. The Easter egg was super satisfying, and if you have a few hours to spare, go give it a run. At number 11, Ancient Evil. And
okay, finally. Awesome. Rave is not one of the best maps on IW. It's definitely, actually, it might be Shaolin, Rave, Attack, Spaceland, Beast.
As the colors they popped, it made the combat feel more impactful. Plus, The enemy design, it was awesome. They blended classic zombies.
No, this was a great map.
Greek mythology and imagery to create this truly unique experience.
10 out of
I don't
10.
think Black Ops 4 gets enough credit for stuff like that. Ancient Evil was a really cool
Black
map.
Ops 4 is the best zombies
10.
game we've ever had.
Attack of the radioactive thing.
How do you go from saying such true things to such dumb shit in the matter of milliseconds?
The Wonder Weapon was underwhelming. Just about everything else on the map, fantastic. It carried the Infinite Warfare's goofy aesthetic and it introduced you to a
This is a
ton
good
of
map.
new enemy types and side challenges. They felt productive. They didn't just feel like you were doing them to do it.
The
Like you
Easter
were
egg
working
was
towards
awesome.
Something that mattered instead of just grinding bonus stuff. The map had some good comedy to it too. Plenty of fun.
But
references.
saying that it's better than Ancient Evil, that's not true. Ancient Evil is a better map than Attack of the Radioactive Thing. Attack of the Radioactive Thing is probably one of the best IW maps. That's true. The Easter egg is very underrated. The only part that's a little shitty is the science step, but the whole unlocking the true color TV by like figuring out what your color was and then uncoding some numbers. And one thing that people did not give enough credit for the radioactive thing was the Wonder Weapon. You know why? Because they didn't know how to use it. That being said, I don't remember how to use it because it's been a long time, but I played this map a shit ton and I remembered that there was actually some kind of tricks to figuring it out, and you could actually almost have infinite ammo with all of those green bulbs on the side, plus a mix of Fate and Fortune cards and just regular gameplay. So putting it at what is it, number 9? I don't know about that, but it's definitely a top 20. It's hard to say because there's so many maps.
At number 9, Shadowed Throne, COD World War II. I've had some really nice things to say about World War II Zombies maps today, but ultimately, I think the Shadowed Throne was the best. And browsing
I
Reddit
agree.
seems to reveal that most of the community liked it.
Yep.
Had a really cool Easter egg.
True.
Had a really good story. Had some really good atmosphere. Had really good gameplay.
Yep.
It had all the best parts of COD World War II Zombies mixed together.
It
in this
did.
big pot.
It's because it had the most
Gave up on
people
the game
working
until
on
the
it.
DLC was finished. You may have missed it. Give it a shot if you haven't before, because you're probably going to like this one more than you expected. At number 8. Ascension in Black Ops 1. I think this is the zombie map I got the most hours in.
I
It has to
hate
be one of the most beloved maps.
I
in
hate
COD Zombies.
Ascension so
First
much.
DLC map released for the original Black Ops. Super popular. Popular enough to get it remade in Chronicles, the expansion for Black Ops 3. Set on a Soviet cosmodrome and feature one of the best casts.
I don't like this map, but I know the community
It's also a
does.
map that introduced us to Stamin' Up and PhD Flopper, 2 fan favorite perks that have returned many times. The vibe of the map was awesome. The layout, fantastic. And that was all topped off with a cherry on the top with a great soundtrack. One of the best of all time. At number 7, 9, Black Ops 4, no shock. Easily the best map in Black Ops 4. Definitely a top 10 map overall, if you ask me.
I agree.
Second in
Okay.
chronological order
Okay.
of the game. It had you fighting hundreds and hundreds of zombies for a live crowd while the map itself was simple. I think that simplicity was what made it so addicting. The weapons, the art style, it was great. I think a gladiator arena has to be one of the most unique ideas for zombies we've ever gotten. I adored this map. At number 6,
Yep.
Nocturne Totem.
Okay, what the fuck are you talking about?
This is where it started. Holds up super well to this day. I mean, the vibes, come on. The scares, as well as how simple it was, but how addicting it was.
In the top 10? Are you kidding me, bro? Like, it's just amazing because it started zombies. That's it. The map is trash.
Started right here, and unlike other World at War maps, it still plays good when you go back for a modern perspective. The zombies were great, the layout was great, the power-ups are great. I know it's primitive to modern audiences, but you'll lose hours and hours of your life playing it over and over again.
No, I won't, because I'm never going to go back to play it.
Zombies mode got so popular. This is the reason. At number 5,
That's
Origins and Black Ops.
okay, fine. I know everybody loves Origins.
Brings you back to the First World War, alternate timeline. Basically, Treyarch's answered all the criticism of the launch zombie maps, right? Origins was filled with Easter eggs, gameplay, weaponry, atmosphere, and to me is yet to be matched by any zombies map to date. I mean, what other map has giant robots roaming around the world, roaming around World War I? I mean, just like it was nothing. It's often called the best zombies map ever released. I adore it, but I think there's a handful that are better. At number 4, Der Eisendrache, Black Ops 3.
Okay.
Giant snowy cat. Amazing sight to behold. It played good. Size-wise, it was huge. Probably one of the biggest zombies
Okay,
maps
I'm
in
listening.
history, but it wasn't a problem. It progressed well. It played well. I mean, it took
So, all right. So Thriller, you just said in the comments, robot equals good map. Okay, I understand you're being reductive and we're trashing him, but I actually agree with that statement because he said it poorly. But what he means is how something so epic, like shit walking over you that makes you feel so small, was just inserted so casually and it feels like it's part of the map. That's what he means, and I agree with that. He just said it in a stupid way.
Best elements of the previous Black Ops 2 and 3 maps and had a bunch of musical Easter eggs, which was a nice nice touch and great motivation to keep searching for clues. The Rise and Drock was great, and while number 4 may be a bit of a stretch, I think it's deserving. At number 3 today, Mob of the Dead, Black Ops 2.
Okay.
Now, following the poor reception the first...
I don't like that he's put these ones at number 5 and 4 and 3, but at least they're respectable, you know, maps that can go into these positions.
Few Black Ops 2 Zombies maps, Treyarch went back to the drawing board. Came up with Mob of the Dead, delivered one of the best maps we've ever seen. At number 2, Doritos.
Oh, that's right.
World at War. Old
Doritos.
school. Final map from World at War, probably the most iconic from that game, even more than Knock. I mean, let's be real. The map is set in a secret regime of
yeah, he hasn't said
Germany.
Kino, so fucking Kino.
The undead, run around, try to figure out how to get out of there. Stop evil mastermind behind it all. It was a fantastic conclusion to World at War storyline. While
that's
also
pretty
being
dope.
A great stepping stone to more complicated styles of Black Ops 1 and beyond. It was simple, but it had a lot of stuff for you to do and keep an eye on. You don't get overwhelmed, but there was a whole laundry list of Easter eggs to go hunting for. Amazing map, and it was close between this one and number 1. But at number 1 today, to me, the best zombies map of all time, Kino der Toten Black Ops 1. To me, it's as good as it gets. It was originally supposed to be in World at War, but it was cut due to time constraints. Thankfully, Treyarch was able to finish it up, polish it up, and release it with Black Ops because it was good. Really good. So many iconic weapons. The layout is a perfect blend of simple and complex, and the enemies were all unique and fun to fight. Plus, Kino had some of the best music in any COD Zombies map ever, which made it even more addicting to play through and grind over and over. Call me old school.
I like Kino, but whenever I think about playing zombies, I'm never like, I want to play Kino. I never think about it. The thunder gun is annoying. It's a cliche. The thunder gun is like the ray gun to me. It's not like a wonder weapon that sticks out like the staves or the apothecary servant. The thunder gun is like the ray gun Mark II. It's just kind of like classic zombies weaponry that's just like part of the game. Whereas when I think of Voyage, I'm like, the Kraken, or I think of Zetsubou and I'm like, oh yeah, the KT4. That's what I think about. But like, I don't, man, this was a bunch of bullshit. I mean, I couldn't disagree with more of this list. He had a couple things in the top 5 that were okay, but most of that, or the top 10 that were okay, but wow. Let's go back to the first video and read the comments if it would ever load. All right, let's see. Seeing Buried, Call of the Dead, and Shadows rank so low actually gave me physical pain. It's crazy how different a casual's perspective is versus someone who likes doing all the eggs and high rounds would rank the maps. Yeah, it's completely wrong. As a diehard zombies player, this hurts. I won't say anything, but I'm sort of triggered. Oh, I'm triggered, bro. I'm triggered. Chaos, man, I'm gonna be honest, this list is a tragedy. It sure is. You can definitely tell when somebody hasn't played zombies much. Your lists are normally great, but this one will get some heat. Love the vids though. ZNS is super underrated, blah, blah, blah. I mean, yeah, let's go to the other video. Oh, that was part 2.
We set out to rank every...
Jesus, chill. Holy crap, this one has even more of a dislike ratio. I'm gonna have to throw you a dislike, bud. Not at you, but at the video itself. As an actual zombies fan, this tier list is a crime. Tag der Toten. Some people call this map the best Treyarch map ever made. Says no one ever in the history of the universe. Preach. Literally, I said that. That's literally what I said. All right. Hold on a second. Let me move this over so you guys can see. Oh, 100% worst list imaginable. You must have taken a dive headfirst into an empty pool. Holy crap. All of us Easter egg people are rolling over these rankings. Lol. The attack of the radioactive thing over Spaceland and a lot of other Treyarch maps. Insanity. Man, it's really funny. I love it though, man. I love it. I love it. Shit, man. I was not expecting it to be that bad. I wasn't.